Every now and then, something happens in the natural world that completely shocks everyone. Now picture this: a group of massive creatures weighing up to 200 tons each mysteriously and inexplicably come out of the water and beach themselves on the shore. This enigmatic phenomenon, known as mass beaching or stranding, has puzzled scientists and researchers for decades. Recently, almost 200 pilot whales beached themselves at King Island in Tasmania, leaving whale lovers from all over the world shocked and saddened. This is just the latest mass beaching in the area in the past 3 months, with over 400 whales stranded in total. Sadly, 102 of the mammals have died in 24 hours alone. It's a heartbreaking mystery that has left many wondering, why are the whales suddenly becoming confused and coming out of the water? While it's true that whales know the sea, and it's unlikely for one or two to get confused, let alone hundreds, one popular theory suggests that a lead animal or a sick member of the group ends up closer to shore, and the rest of the tight-knit group follows. Another theory suggests that there may have been a glitch in the animal's navigation systems, causing them to become disoriented and unaware of where they are going. Whales use sonar pitches to gather information about their surroundings, such as coastlines and seafloors. It's possible that the signal was somehow confused or scrambled, perhaps by the sonar coming off a ship, which can be heard hundreds of miles underwater at 240 decibels. In February 2017, something truly heartbreaking happened in New Zealand. More than 400 pilot whales became stranded on Farewell Spit, a beautiful stretch of beach on the South Island. Despite the best efforts of the New Zealand Department of Conservation and local volunteers, the majority of these majestic creatures did not survive. It was one of the largest mass strandings in the country's history, and a devastating event for all involved. The cause of this mass stranding remains uncertain, but it's thought that factors such as echolocation use, changes in prey populations, and weather conditions may have played a role. While efforts are underway to better understand and prevent mass strandings, these events continue to have a devastating impact on all involved. None of the whales appeared to be in bad health, leaving the true cause of their mass beaching a mystery. Mother Nature works in mysterious ways. One of the craziest animal adaptations is the ant death spiral, also known as the ant mill, a strange natural phenomenon in which a colony of ants essentially commits suicide by following each other in an endless circle until they die of exhaustion. So the question is, why? It is because they are blind. Yes, army ants are blind, so they follow the pheromones of a single lead ant. If this ant gets off track or ends up breaking the formation, the rest of the ants may end up in this endless spiral. Army ants work very well as a group. In fact, an individual ant would not likely survive on its own. But with a collective effort, the ants feed the entire colony and can build intricate tunnel systems. Army ants are blind, but they can find food and move freely by following each other's scent. Their ability to work so well together and follow each other in an almost robotic way is thanks to the pheromones the ants produce that attract other ants to follow them. These pheromones produce an almost hive mind community. The ants blindly follow each other to find food to feed the queen and the colony. If the lead ant encounters an obstacle such as a fallen log, a wall, or a predator, it will have to turn around and find another route. And sometimes this change in direction will confuse the other ants in line, and the ants will start circling, frantically following each other's scent. The lead ant will then begin to follow another ant's scent, and the entire colony will spiral endlessly. The ants in the spiral walk continuously and can keep going from a few hours to days. The largest ant mill ever discovered was a staggering 12,000 feet in diameter, with each ant completing a circuit in 2.5 hours. Ant milling was actually discovered way back in 1921 by scientist William Beebe. That's like almost a century ago. And get this, when he stumbled upon hundreds of ants spiraling endlessly, it completely baffled the scientific community. Even evolutionary biologists were scratching their heads because this behavior seemed to contradict Darwin's survival of the fittest theory. Spirals can involve anywhere from a few dozen to thousands of ants, depending on the size of the colony. Ant death spirals can occur in different species of ants, not just army ants. The phenomenon has been observed in other ant species like carpenter ants and harvester ants. There's one incident where sheep were filmed walking in a circle for 12 days non-stop in Mongolia. This video went viral on Twitter. The bizarre behavior captured on surveillance video shows the large flock continuously marching clockwise in a nearly perfect circle on a farm. Some people on the internet suggested the sheep were entering a death spiral like ants sometimes do. Others suggested the ruminants were suffering from circling disease. This disease is caused by soil bacteria that can infect one side of an animal's brain, causing a lean toward the affected side. Yet usually in an outbreak of circling disease, only a few % of the sheep are impacted, and they tend to follow their own circling pattern, dying after just a few days. This bizarre sheep phenomenon is still a mystery to unveil. A security camera in northern Mexico captured a mesmerizing moment when a swarm of migratory birds descended on houses like a cloud of black smoke. The video, shot in Chihuahua, roughly 230 miles south of El Paso, Texas, features a flock of yellow-headed blackbirds crashing to the ground in unison under unexplained circumstances. Although many of the birds were able to recover and fly away, dozens of them were found dead and motionless. The exact cause of the event remains a mystery, but experts suggest that a predatory bird swooped down to make a catch, flushing the flock from above. Alternatively, some speculate that the birds were electrocuted while perched on power lights. And wait for it, there are even some people on social media who suggested that 5G technology could be the culprit. Dr. Richard Broughton, an ecologist with the Case Center for Ecology and Hydrology, has a different theory. While he couldn't spot a raptor in the footage, he is 99% sure that a predatory bird caused the event. It's possible that the birds were forced downward in a tight spiral by the predator, with those flying lower being forced to crash into buildings or the ground by those flying higher. Bison are known to jump off cliffs every so often. Fascinating and unusual, this phenomenon occurred in North America when indigenous peoples like the Blackfoot, Cree, and Salish hunted bison using a technique known as buffalo jumps. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a cliff, armed only with your wits and some rocks. Suddenly you hear the thundering sound of hooves in the distance, and soon you see a herd of bison stampeding towards you. As they approach the cliff, you and your fellow hunters hurl rocks and make loud noises, causing the bison to panic and charge towards the edge. In their frenzied state, some of the bison at the front of the pack lose their footing and tumble over the cliff, crashing to the ground below. Others, trying to avoid the ones in front of them, make a daring leap off the edge, soaring through the air like Olympic long jumpers. It's a dangerous and daring strategy that requires skill and coordination from the hunters, who had to time their efforts just right to ensure a successful kill. But when executed properly, a buffalo jump could provide an abundant supply of meat and hides for the entire tribe. While talking about bison, meet Sparky, an American bison famous for surviving a lightning strike in 2012, and who has died at the Neil Smith National Wildlife Refuge in Iowa. Sparky was born at the National Bison Range in Montana and moved to Neil Smith when he was 2 years old. He spent 12 years roaming the Iowa prairie. Although he was badly scarred by the lightning strike for the rest of his life, he remained part of the herd. To many, he became a symbol of the strength and endurance of his species. Nature never ceases to amaze, does it? Which of these surprised you the most? Share your thoughts and any interesting insights in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.